Hello, food lovers from around the world. Do you have an abundance of fresh fruit that you are afraid it will go bad in no time? Would you like to preserve it for later on to enjoy year round without taking space in your freezer? Then I have the answer for you. I am Anna, and today I will show you how easy it is to can some pears in syrup that will last for a few years on your pantry shelves. You will also love how simple this project is, but also that it has no processed sugar at all. All we will use are ripe pears, but not to the point that they are soft or mushy, honey, lemon, and vanilla extract. We slice our half of a lemon in thin slices. Squeeze a little of its juice in a bowl full of cold water, and then we'll start cutting and coring our pears. The lemon water will help prevent the pear slices to turn brown as we will core all of them. I found that the easiest way is to cut the pear in half, then in quarters, and then cut the core out of each one. You can also dice the pears in cubes if you like that way more. This time I used Bartlett pears because they are our favorite kind. I find they are very flavorful and sweet, but you can use any kind of pears you like. You could also replace the pears with different fruit, such as apples, mandarins, peaches, plums, cherries, really almost any kind of fruit, even pineapples. The process stays the same. The trickiest part of all of this is figuring out how much water we will need to cover our pears. So to find that out, we take a clean jar and fill it with pear slices. This way we can calculate how many jars we will need to sterilize later on. My pint jar fits 7 or 8 slices, so about 2 pears per jar. I have here 2 cups of water. We fill the jar and see how much water we used. For me, it was just under a cup. So now we know how many jars we will need and also how much water for the syrup. Next, we need to sterilize our jars. So we fill a water canner with cold water and submerge our jars. It is better if you fill first the jar so they won't fall like mine did. We cover the jars with water and then bring the pot to a boil covered. We need to boil the jars for 15 minutes from the time they start boiling. Now we can make our syrup. We heat the water with the honey until all the honey dissolves. We won't need to boil it, just heat it. You can add more or less honey according to how sweet you want the syrup to be. I also put the lids into a pot with water and heat it. If you like this kind of projects, then you will also enjoy my cinnamon canned apples in syrup, which taste like Christmas in a jar. I will link that recipe in the description box of this video, so make sure you check it out. Some people think that by heating honey, it will turn toxic, but this is actually a misconception. The honey won't turn toxic, but it will lose some of its properties and live enzymes. Our jars are ready, the syrup is ready, so we'll start filling the jars. But first, we need to empty the boiling water out of them. Make sure you don't put them on the cold counter or they might crack. They don't like sudden changes of temperature. We arrange our pear slices in the jars, making sure they are nice and tight. We add a little vanilla extract and fill the jars with the warm syrup, making sure that the pears are submerged. I was left with a little bit of syrup, so I used that for sweetening our teas. We wipe the rims with a clean towel to ensure a good seal, and put on the lids and bands. I'm a perfectionist, so I like to make sure that all the lids are facing in the direction of the ball logo on the jars. This way they will look really pretty in the pantry. Do not over tighten them, just finger tight. Now if you press in the middle of the lid, you will see that it makes a clicking sound and bounces up and down. That means that the jars are not sealed yet. We'll check the seal again after we water bath them. We put them back in the warm water in our pot. The important thing here is that the jar contents and water are at about the same temperature so that the jars won't break. It is also important that the jars don't sit directly on the bottom of the pot for the same reason. That's why I use the wire rack inside the pot. If you don't have one, you can use a clean cotton towel folded up on the bottom. We cover the pot and wait for the water to start boiling. When it is boiling, we start the timer for 25 minutes. That's how long they will need to be safe for the pantry shelves. When the time is up, we turn off the heat. We lift the jars and let them rest like this for 10 more minutes. This will give them time to cool down slowly a little bit. We then take them out on a wire rack and let them cool completely. This is the most satisfying time. You will start hearing popping sounds as they are sealing one by one. That means you were successful. Check out the color of the pears. They are not soft, mushy, or brown. They look just as fresh as when they were picked. The second day, we can label them, take off the bands, and store them in our pantry until we feel like opening one jar. They smell and taste amazing. We usually like eating them cold from the fridge. And they all sealed perfectly. What do you think of this recipe? Let me know in the comments below. If you find my content useful, don't hesitate to share, like, and subscribe. This will help the channel a lot. And thank you for stopping by today. Bye!